Fire away, man.
Coach, I talked to Kubiak yesterday, and he said it's helping him acclimate to New Orleans because the playbook is very similar to Oregon State is here. Can you kind of maybe lay it out and how that is helping him?
Yeah, I'd say that sticks out in his film, some of the similar concepts and schemes, but I think it's more of a compliment just to his intelligence as a person. He works hard at it. He's smart. He was well coached at Oregon State.
You won't have a good gauge with Kubiak until training camp when the pads come on. When did you finally realize he's got it? He can do it at left tackle, not a right tackle like he did in college.
Well, if he ever thinks he's got it, he's in trouble, But I think he's done everything he can to give himself an opportunity and impressed us early. But it all changes when the pads go on. So, but he's made of the right stuff, so I'm not worried about him.
What do you think so far of the offensive rollout that you guys have been able to institute so far? You install and how far you're along?
Our guys did a great job of taking in a lot of information and going and putting it on the grass. Coach Allen gave us a lot of meeting time to get it installed, so I'm pleased with where we're at. And we're never going to be where we want to be. If we have that mindset, we'll be all right.
Where have you guys across the gate to? How much you developed in the last month from a business standpoint? How much would you say that's really happened?
Yeah, I think I've seen improvement. In the competitive periods when the ones go out there and they move the ball down the field, that's a good start. But again, there is no pass rush really. We're all in underwear out here, so we get to training camp, we put pads on. Guys that maybe you didn't notice here the last couple of weeks, they're going to start showing up in the other way around too. So, that's what we tell our guys is it's real football come the fall. So they got to put themselves in position to be successful and be in shape over this break.
Klint, how would you gauge that jump from when Derek first kind of got learning that offense to where he's at this point? Where's that? I guess how would you gauge it?
He's been impressive with, and I knew that coming here. That was a big reason to come here, right? To be able to coach him and to coach a guy who's played a lot of football and, has been to Pro Bowls and obviously a very intelligent player. So no surprise that he's been able to handle it well. He's done a good job. He's exceeded expectations, but, like I said with everybody else, he's also has a growth mindset and is not satisfied. So we have a lot of work to do come the fall.
What kind of progress have you seen from Trevor Penning, and what are some of the things you want to see him maybe work on before training camp?
I think Trevor Penning has done everything we've asked him since we got here. Really tough mentality. I like the person. I like the way he works. I like how important the game is to him. And, he's no different than anybody else. We're going to coach him hard and expect a lot out of him. And, we'll see what happens when we put the pads on.
Eric McCoy talked about how, along with Trevor and Todd, and even Todd, how they really kicked up the playbook and expedited pace compared to what they were expected to. What do you think about how the younger offensive linemen are adjusting and learning to play around?
Well, I think you got two incredible offensive line coaches in John Benton and Rick Dennison. So, you got double the teaching right there. So I know I'm really fortunate to get to work with those guys and really focus my attention other places, and those guys have handled it. And just a really impressive group of coaches right there, along with Jari Evans. So those guys are lucky. Those players are lucky to have those guys.
But when you've studied Chris Olave and then now seen him on the field and worked with him, what are some opportunities that you see that the team could be expanded or we can get even new elements out of him?
Obviously, he's a playmaker. He's made 2 years of a lot of production, and we think there's more in the tank. And I think to his credit, he had an injury in this offseason and played through it. It showed a lot of grit, a lot of toughness. We definitely have studied what he does well and want to expand on that. And his success will come from the team's success. So I just want to see him to continue to develop and help us in more ways than just catching the ball. And that's with all receivers. Put a lot of pressure on those guys to help us out in the run game. So that's a big part of his improvement and all the wideouts.
And the last time we talked to you in the rookie camp, so we hadn't seen Taysom Hill do anything yet. You said you were going to try a number of things and see what works. I mean, I think we've seen you try everything with Taysom Hill. I mean, is that the idea? Is you just want to look at him everywhere, or he could really have a huge role in this offense?
Yeah, well, he's obviously a highly intelligent player that's been coached extremely well. So there's a lot of carryover in his knowledge, and then his effort and his attention to detail was excellent this whole offseason. So, I appreciate the work that he put into it, and I appreciate our coaching staff's creativity and trying to get him out of a lot of spots. But he's no different than there's our receivers that have played 3 different positions. So so there's guys like like Cedric Wilson. That's a really intelligent guy that's played a lot of spots too. Maybe doesn't get as much of the credit, but I would compliment him as well. As well as our offensive linemen that are playing center and guard. So, but yeah, Taysom's done a great job this offseason.
Beyond just like a successful running game, what goes into making plans that? What makes them successful beyond being football?
Not being in 2nd and 20 helps. Staying ahead of the chains. Not to be a smart aleck, but that's the truth. I think it starts from the top down. Starts with the head coach supporting us, wanting to run the ball, and then trickling down to the players and their mindset into making those play actions come to life once we run the ball. I think it's just having good habits in practice and us being good teachers. And if we can install good runs and be successful there, then we can build off of the pass game. But it's a lot of this. I wish it was just one thing, but it's not.
Are you uncomfortable with all the attention you've gotten and the offense has gotten in this offseason, or is that just part of life?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. When you're coming as a new staff, there's going to be more attention on you, and that's part of our job is to deal with expectations, whether they're good or bad. So, I tell the players all the time that your expectations have to be your own. So my expectations are one thing, Eric McCoy's are another, and we have high expectations of ourselves regardless of what's going on outside. And if we can just kind of narrow our vision and put the blinders on and focus on that, and less about what's going on around us, the better we'll be.
Kind of to follow up, do you feel like you have the players to be one of those top clubs immediately on the offensive side of the ball?
I think we're just going to try to go get a first down in training camp and go from there. We got who we got. I like who we got, and it ain't going to change from now to the season. So we better go figure it out pretty quick.
Were you surprised by Kamara's absence from practice after the walkthrough today? Did you talk to him at all?
No, I have talked to him when he was here the last couple of days. He's been great. Talked to him on the phone even when he was gone. We've been in constant communication. Really loved the way he put in the work yesterday and in the walkthrough. But I don't have any other comment on after that.
Did he tell you why he wasn't in practice? Or?
I think DA answered some of those questions. I didn't get to talk to him, though. But
early on, some of the guys mentioned that you guys were meeting as a group as opposed to being like an individual room. Is that how you run it all the time? And what's the advantage of that?
I think it's important we're all on the same page, coaches and players. We got new coaches working together too. So I think it's important to hear one voice early. So that's something that I think is really important as an offense, that we're all speaking the same language, coaches and players.
So it's just kind of like establishing the culture, and then later on, like if you break off and go to different rooms.
Hey, just taking it one day at a time, and this time setting that we had, we needed to be together as much as possible. So we'll probably do that quite a bit, though. Yeah.
Something that's new to a lot of the players that have been in this offense in the past, but just something that you kind of have to drill early so that by the time the actual training game here is not looking at things like that.
Yeah, I think we put our guys. We gave a lot to them. Definitely way more than we ever put in one game plan, and they handled it really well. So you just got to put them through it. You got to make it hard on them in practice, make them study at night. And I think overall, I was pleased with the detail our guys had and our coaches that put them through it.
DA said that one more. DA said that usually after these practices, the staff has been going back and kind of figuring out, all right, there's some different looks that we're seeing offensively that we've got to adjust. You guys as a staff seen stuff from this defense, and you've gone, maybe we need make a couple adjustments here to kind of be effective of what we're doing. Or is that give and take kind of the same?
Yeah, that's everywhere you go, and just from afar playing against Coach Allen in the past is one of the toughest defensive schemes to face, and the number of looks that we got in this one camp, probably as much as you'll see in the NFL with the defense that's been established for a long time, and they definitely caused a lot of problems for us and made us better.